Hi, my honey bunnies. I'm back with another video. A lot of y'all requested this. Y'all know this is still Diva Week for me. So a lot of y'all request this video, and this video is entitled Whitney Houston and Diana Ross, Who Was the Boss? A lot of y'all been asking me to do this video. Oh, do a video about Whitney Houston and Diana Ross. And I'm like, okay, I finally, this Diva Week, so I had to do this video. Okay. Well, we know Whitney Houston's the iconic diva, and Diana Ross is a very big iconic diva. I mean, Diana Ross really put the epitome of a diva. She really was the blueprint. Well, let's get it started. Well, years and years, it always been speculated that Whitney Houston and Diana Ross did not like each other. It was some type of tension. I'm here to make the video to clear things up, to give insight on both of their careers and how they came across each other in the industry. And was it really any type of issue? And we're gonna analyze it. Okay, we know that in history, in music history, especially with African American divas, it goes back. I think Josephine Baker, in my opinion, really was that overall international definition of a diva, an iconic diva. Then you have Billie Holiday, very popular. People really loved her. And then you had Diana Ross. I'm not going to say Aretha. I'm going to do another video on Aretha. Aretha is the queen of soul. She's not a queen of pop. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, Aretha is a diva. But we're talking about the glamour, a singer, an actress. I mean, yes, Aretha can really sing, but she never really did any movies. What was that? The Blues Brothers? And she really, a diva really is into everything. She can do no wrong. And Diana Ross really worked hard. I mean, she had some we can talk about that. Something, she did have diva behaviors, but overall, Diana Ross is an iconic diva. You got to give it to her. Okay, so Diana Ross, was from the Supremes, and she worked her way up from she was from a Detroit Projects, and she worked her way up all the way to be an iconic diva to this day. Her name alone, Miss Ross. Like, come on now. And at that time, like in the 60s and 70s, Diana could do no wrong. Even in the early 80s, she could do no wrong. Her style, her flair, just her ways, just being her name. Like I said, Miss Ross alone is that that is iconic. So then the 80s come along. Then you have music gurus like Clive Davis. Berry Gordy was a music guru back in the day. So you got Clive Davis. He want a diva. He want his own diva. He's tired, in my opinion, of having more established divas. He want his own. He want to create his own diva. So he signs a girl from Jersey. And he signs her because she's moldable. She's gorgeous, and she can make you believe anything that she put out there. And that's Whitney Houston. And he signs Whitney Houston, and like I said with the media, Diana was on top all this time by herself, in a lane by herself. Not to say, like I said, not to say Aretha Franklin, all of them was out. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about an overall international, just the lady sings the blues, mahogany. You got the Supremes, all this stuff by yourself. Like I said, Diana could do no wrong in the public's eye. And Clive Davis, like I said, he wanted his own diva. So At this time, Diana is getting a little older, and it's you can't compare both of these women. So you had this young girl coming into the industry, and you already had a veteran, that's already out there. Now, like I said, with the media, people are going to put people against. Oh, she want to be you. Oh, she's trying to take your spot. And Diana was a well mature woman, and Whitney Houston was a young. She got signed at 19, a teenage girl. She's trying to, what I'm saying? She's coming to make her own way, just like Diana was a young girl in the Supremes making her way. You understand what I'm saying? So it's room for everybody, and everybody got their own lane. But with Hollywood, with women, they love putting women against each other. So Clive Davis, in my opinion, kind of took a blueprint from Diana as being an overall diva, international diva. And I'm not saying he took from Diana, but I'm just saying he wanted his diva. He wanted a diva bigger than Diana. And he created Whitney Houston. So the record label sent Whitney Houston to the same salon Diana Ross went to get her weaves. They wanted her to get a weave as well. So they wanted to get Whitney Houston this diva image, this a whole diva package, which really worked for Whitney. Okay, now Clive Davis has his diva all created. She's created, she got her nice hair weave, her nice image, and everything like that. Now, her hair weave is very wild and big, and it's not as big as Diana Ross, but it's more, um, more cropped down. So it's like Diana Ross is the queen, and Whitney Houston is the princess. In the beginning of Whitney Houston's career, like in the 80s, um, she would always give acknowledgement to her mother, Dion, Aretha. But in all of her acknowledgments to divas, she never would in the 80s give acknowledgement to Diana Ross. I never saw. I never saw any interviews. I never read any interviews where her even saying anything about Diana Ross. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, you know what I'm saying? You're kind of like Diana Ross, so why aren't you saying anything about Diana Ross? Whitney Houston always thought high of her mother. And she always wanted, she always cared about her mother's opinion. And I know how Sissy Houston is, especially in the Whitney documentary, how she would talk about a lot of singers and things like that and had her own opinions. And for some odd reason, don't quote me, this is just my opinion. This is alleged. I really believe Sissy Houston might have felt a way about Diana because a lot of people felt a way about Diana. Just because a lot of people love Diana, a lot of people felt a way about Diana. So I don't know, what I'm saying, if she felt that way about Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul, what I'm saying, for Whitney Houston, her own peer. So she might have felt a way about Diana. She might have wanted that career Diana had, and she didn't have it. Now, back then, allegedly, Patti LaBelle said how Diana Ross will come into when Patti LaBelle was a part of Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, how she would come in their dressing room and see what they was wearing, and she ultimately stole Cindy from them when Florence was let out of the Supremes, and Cindy, took Florence's spot in the Supremes. So that's a lot of tension between Diana and Patti LaBelle back in the day. Now they squashed it now, but back in the day it was tension. So they said Diana was, she was very ruthless and messy. So we don't know if Diana and Sissy Houston came across each other past back in the day when they were in singing groups, the Supremes and the Sweet Inspirations. So we would never know. It's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. You never know. You don't know what happened between Clive Davis and Diana Ross. We don't know how their work relationship, if they ever had one, or their, interaction was with each other. We don't know that. So you just never know. And Whitney Houston is the type of person, she don't like conflict, so she avoids it. Whitney would just not acknowledge anything. So she probably just wouldn't even, if it's any type of animosity with Diana Ross with her mother or Diana Ross with Clive Davis, she's just not even going to acknowledge those people. Just like what I said with the Phyllis Hyman thing, Whitney Houston really never acknowledged Phyllis Hyman. So she never really acknowledged Diana Ross in the 80s. New diva, the princess of pop of 86. So now, everybody's giving her praise. And there's a lot of opportunities coming her way, especially in acting. A lot of people want her in their movies and shows and things like that. Clive Davis is being very strategic in what work he wants Whitney to do. One of the opportunities was for Whitney Houston to star in Dreamgirls. They really wanted her to be a part of the movie production back then in the 80s. And as we know, allegedly, Diana Ross do not like the idea of Dreamgirls because it's about supposedly be about the Supremes. Now, when Dreamgirls the play came out, they say Diana Ross snuck in during rehearsal and watched the rehearsals allegedly, and she watched and she didn't like the idea of it. And Shirley Ralph said this on her own song that she saw Diana that same day, and she spoke to her and said, "Hi, Miss Ross," and she said she just gave her a cold look. And Shirley Ralph was just excited that Diana Ross acknowledged her, but she really just kind of snubbed Shirley Ralph because Shirley Ralph was a part of that production. So if she, slighted Shirley Ralph, this young diva coming out that, has kind of got her image, she probably really felt some way about Whitney Houston playing in Dreamgirls. The opportunity was brought to Whitney Houston to be a part of the movie, but at the end of the day, Whitney Houston turned the role down. And I think Clive Davis had something to do with her because he really wanted that great big role for Whitney Houston when she did her big time acting debut. Also, when creating Whitney Houston's image and her music packaging, Clive Davis got producer Michael Masser, especially for Whitney Houston's first album. Michael Masser also worked with Diana Ross with Mahogany. A lot of her songs from that soundtrack is produced by Michael Masser. And a lot of songs, Whitney Houston, especially Save All My Love for You, and a few other songs from her first album, Michael Masser. Kind of similar sound, huh? Now, I know definitely documented one of the first times Whitney and Diana Ross crossed paths definitely would have to be what was that, 1987 American Music Awards. And Whitney Houston, she won on that show as well. Diana Ross introduced her when Whitney Houston performed her song, was it All at Once? And she just, Diana Ross was saying how great Whitney Houston was. So I don't, what I'm saying, it didn't look like any animosity or tension between those two. I don't know if they met backstage or whatever the case may be, but I know both of them was at the same event and Diana Ross had to introduce Whitney Houston's performance. Now I remember in like late 89, maybe early 1990, Whitney Houston did a surprise appearance with Diana Ross doing, I guess, a show. Diana Ross was performing, and you can see that, she surprised Diana Ross on stage, and she performed with her, and it looked like they had a good time. It didn't look like, Whitney Houston had anything against her, and vice versa. Now, in the early 90s, this film had to be like 91, 90, this was like 92. Whitney and Diana paid tribute to Muhammad Ali. They performed together on stage. And, it was an iconic moment for the both two divas, and especially performing together on one stage. So that was like another Whitney and Diana moment because they have rare moments. Now diva time starts. Now, Diana Ross, if you don't know nothing about Diana Ross, if you don't know anything, of course she's the diva, Miss Ross. But Diana Ross is an excellent, excellent actress. Oh my gosh, her act of work is so passionate and convicted. I mean, Diana Ross really get into that character that she's playing. And Diana Ross was supposed to do The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard was thought of in the 70s, and it was supposed to be Diana Ross and Ryan O'Neal. At the time, they had supposed to have a alleged love affair or relationship, whatever they called it. They were supposed to have been they were supposed to have been lovers at the time. So it was supposed to be a big opportunity for Ryan O'Neal and Diana Ross. This was supposed to be a big movie moment. And Ryan O'Neal said Diana Ross was a pure diva. Like, she did not want, she was very difficult. And I don't know, it was back then. I don't know, the script was revised from the new script that Whitney Houston got, but I heard it was a lot of violence and nudity, and Diana Ross was against the violence and nudity. So by the time it got to Whitney Houston, the violence was, dimmered down allegedly, and the nudity was taken out completely. So Miss Ross was very hesitant about playing, in The Bodyguard, as well as Whitney Houston. People don't know it. She made Kevin Costner wait like 1 or 2 years before she said yes. She kept trying to find every excuse in the book not to do this movie. But I believe Clive Davis knew this was the one. Like, this is the movie, Whitney. You need to do this movie. And I also believe that I think Whitney Houston just was scared. This was something new. This not music. This not an album. This is a movie. People get to see you. So I wanted, and just like Kevin Costner said, she always wondered, was she good enough? And Whitney Houston was iconic. Like, of course, girl, God made you. You are good enough. You are the best. Now, in 1995, during the Soul Train Music Awards, Diana Ross was a part of the show, as well as Whitney Houston. And during Diana Ross' performance, she took time out to get off stage to come. As she's performing, she walks off stage and she go embrace Whitney Houston. During this time, a lot of people don't know Whitney Houston was going through a lot in her life. Her and Bobby Brown allegedly breaking up. Her going through her own, issues. So I don't know Diana Ross knew anything about these, situations, but she embraced Whitney and she gave her a big hug, and she just told Whitney how much she loved her. And I do believe that embrace was very genuine. Later years, during the classic Whitney concert, Whitney paid homage to Diana, and later on Ken and Ivy Waining's show she later said that people don't give Diana Ross her true props, and she was giving her her props. And I thought that was special. At that time, Whitney Houston was mature. You know what I'm saying? She been around a while, so she know the game and how the industry will put people against each other. And she never really gave Diana Ross, paid homage to the lady. So I believe at the end of the day, their relationship was intact. And also, one of their last public appearances, I think like 97, 98, Diana Ross was being inducted in some type of award ceremony, and Whitney Houston presented the award to her, and you could tell Diana Ross was just so excited for that Whitney Houston was the one giving her the award. And she gave her a nice she embraced her and gave her a nice big kiss, and you could tell she really loved Whitney Houston. You could tell Diana loved Whitney Houston. She was proud of Whitney Houston, like, girl, you doing your thing. And you could tell that Whitney, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how Sissy Houston feel about Diana Ross. You could tell sometimes Whitney Houston, when Diana Ross embraced her, she was kind of a little hesitant. But at the end of the day, she still paid homage to Diana and let people know that, she see Diana. And she, Diana is the diva. Both divas held concerts at Central Park in New York. I remember Diana Ross Central Park concert was a very great big deal. I wasn't born at the time, but during my music research, I remember just seeing her hair flowing in her beautiful costumes. Oh, she was a phenomenal. You could tell that was a great concert. And Whitney Houston's was a big time thing. That was Good Morning America. She was doing the comeback, her comeback performance, and both of those performances, Diana and Whitney, it was something. It meant something special to them in each other's life. Like Diana at the time of her life, that something meant something special to her, and Whitney Houston, having a comeback that meant something special to her when she had her concert. Also, over the years, Tracy Ellis Ross, which is Diana Ross' daughter, I love Tracy Ellis Ross. She is so, oh my gosh, she is so hilarious. Every time Whitney Houston would see Tracy Ellis Ross, she embraced her. And Tracy Ellis Ross was always excited to see Whitney Houston. So if it was some type of beef, and if Diana didn't like Whitney and vice versa, why would Tracy Ellis Ross be so excited to see Whitney and vice versa? And Whitney was excited to see her. I remember doing a Christian Dior show doing being Bobby Brown. Whitney Houston was very agitated at the time, but when she saw Tracy Ellis Ross, she stopped everything and she embraced her, and she really, you could tell she had love for Tracy Ellis Ross, and vice versa. Tracy Ellis Ross loved Whitney Houston. A day or two after Whitney Houston passing, Diana Ross, in all of her career, won her first Grammy. Isn't that crazy? Ironic. The day that Whitney Houston passed, Diana Ross wins her first Grammy. So I don't think it was no real beef between Whitney Houston and Diana Ross. Now, both women, yes, hands down, they are iconic divas. Both women crossed over to mainstream, where everybody loved black, white, Latina, every Chinese, everything, Japanese, everybody. France, everybody loved Whitney Houston and Diana Ross. But anyway, I think both of these women were at the top of their games, and it can be a bit much. Diana Ross, in my opinion, was smart enough to back away from the industry, where Whitney Houston, still to the day of her passing, was never really got a true break, a healthy break. And Whitney didn't take time for herself. Where Diana took time to raise her daughters and her sons, she raised her children, and she had time to be a true mom, a true mother, and to live her own life. Where Whitney Houston still was, living for others, and then suffering addiction. None of these divas are perfect. Their work seemed perfection, but none of them are perfect. They still are real. They're real life people. They have realities. I know Diana Ross, she done some things that she's not proud of to get where she wanted to go. You understand what I'm saying? I know things like with her and Patti LaBelle, she was young, Patti LaBelle was young. And, people grow up. You understand what I'm saying? People can admit when they were wrong, and can apologize. So I believe, what I'm saying, she tried at her best of her ability. To this day, Miss Ross really tried to right her wrongs. Things she did wrong. Exactly. She tried to make them right. Um, with Whitney never really got a chance to right her wrongs. You understand what I'm saying? She's gone. And it's sad. But both of these divas are extraordinary. And like I said, Diana Ross really opened the door for a Whitney Houston. So, who was the boss? Miss Ross and Miss Houston. It's your girl Lola Loves You, and I'll be back with another video. Leave in the comments down below. I got the sweetest hangover. I don't wanna get over.